One very tired-looking official coming out saying that we have symbolic white smoke signaling a breakthrough. Now, this is the €86 billion bailout program that's set to run over the next 3 years or so. Creditors have been trying to link the release of that money to the implementation of each round of controversial reforms that have been promised by the Greek government. The most contentious issues have been the pension program, taxes and VAT increases, a privatization program that will sell off about €50 billion worth of state assets. We also heard earlier on Tuesday morning that the two sides had reached a deal on fiscal targets, which will see Athens aiming for a budget surplus from next year. Remember, as always, there is a deadline looming on August 20th. Greece has to pay the European Central Bank €3.2 billion, so it needs that bailout money in its coffers well before that. Any deal also needs parliamentary approval, both in Athens and in Berlin, which may prove difficult. And as we know with Greece, of course, even the smallest of details can turn into a roadblock.
Indeed. Let's hope those officials get a bit of a rest after their 23 hours in that room. They'll be relieved. Are the markets relieved?
Not yet, actually. This announcement came just in time for the opening of the European markets. And we've actually seen the major indices opening in the red, down about 0.5 percentage point each. Investors want this Greek deal to be signed and sealed before they really welcome the news. Europe has also been following a somewhat choppy session on the Asian markets, eyeing China in particular. The Shanghai Composite has been drifting back and forth across the flat line after finishing Monday's session up almost 5%. You can see it's just dipped back into negative territory there. This follows an unexpected move by the Chinese central bank to allow its currency to trade more freely on the markets. Now, the yuan is a very tightly controlled currency. The central bank essentially fixes how much it's worth. On Tuesday, it made what it's calling a one-time adjustment, allowing the yuan to dip 1.9% against the US dollar to its lowest rate in 3 years. The bank said it had changed the way it calculated the currency's daily value against the dollar, but it's widely seen as a response to a string of weak data from the world's second-largest economy. That includes a sharp fall in exports and producer prices. Yuan trading down about 1.6% a short time ago. You can see there, this could make the value of that Chinese currency increasingly more fluid, more tied to the overall market trends rather than what the bank itself has decided. And that, of course, could become more evident if the US Federal Reserve does indeed boost interest rates in the coming months.
All right, finally then, you're taking us back to our ABCs, and we're going to Silicon Valley to do it. Explain.
Exactly. Well, we're talking about Google, one of the world's biggest, most important and most powerful companies, really. They've announced a surprise rebranding, reorganizing its business under a new parent company, which is called Alphabet. Now, the core business, which includes the internet search engine, online advertising, and YouTube services, will still be known as Google, but a lot of the more innovative projects will be split off, as Lucy Proven explains.
From drones to cars, Google has risen way beyond search engines. So much so, it's having to split into several smaller companies under one umbrella. It's called Alphabet. And this is the ABCs to understanding it. A is for ambition. Google wants more room for blue sky thinking to test new ventures like internet transmission balloons or Google cars. B is for business. Separate companies will have more autonomy and be more competitive. C is for CEO. The tech giant's co-founder Larry Page will head up Alphabet. Former head of Google products Sundar Pichai will now run the slimmed-down Google. This company will only run the search engine, web advertising and YouTube. And finally, W is for Wall Street. Google will now be traded as Alphabet. The announcement of the new company on Monday sent the tech giant shares up almost 7% in after-hours trading.
That report by Lucy Proven there explaining the new ABCs of Google, though you will still be able to Google something if you need to, Kath.
What a relief. Don't have to change my entire vocabulary just yet. Thanks very much, Kate Moody, there with a look through the day's top business stories.